Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Hidden Agenda. Our special guest tonight is Alderman Jimmy White, who is running for his same seat in position 5 in the county election, city election, pardon me. We're going to let a couple more people jump in here and get started. Before we get in with Jimmy, there's something I want to address that's been brought to my attention quite a few times, and I'm going to go ahead and put it out there and address things because I believe in transparency. We do have people that are on our page that we have blocked, and the reason we have people blocked is generally it's down to 3 reasons. Number one is they've come on the page and try to use the page as a platform to shut it down. That's not going to happen. You know what? If you want to go create your own page, the I Hate James Lavelle page or I Hate the Taxpayers of Henderson County page, have at it. Help yourself. I don't care. You have my word. I will not go on your page and say a word, anything, because I really don't care what you have to think, what anybody thinks of me. Number 2 reason is we've actually had people attack our business. That's another no-no. This is a private page that I created, and I allow public access to help to educate the people in our community and our county, and that's what it's designed for. And, the other one is, if you want to come out here and get a character attacked with me, 76 South Main Street, you can find me here Tuesday through Friday, 9 to 3, and Saturday, 9 to 12. This is where I am. If you want to have a conversation, you want to talk ugly to me, come on. But you're not going to use my page to take and attack me. Period. If you don't like it, I'm sorry. Go somewhere else, That's just the bottom line. But what I'm going to do right quick is I made a quick little video to show everybody all the people that we have blocked. And this is my offer, is if you are blocked and you would like to come back on, send me a message. Let me know that you can, have some respect, and we'll bring you right back on. But to say that you don't want to share, you don't want to come on to Hidden Agenda because we have people blocked, that's a poor excuse. Bottom line is we have 5,700 members. We probably have about 25 to 30 people blocked. And with that there's quite a few spammers in there. And that's the reason we actually have post approval on them, because we were getting spam posts. And this is the best way to keep the page clean. I know nobody else wants to see spammers up there, and I don't. So anyway, I'm going to take and let you guys see this here. I'm going to talk through it while it's sitting over at the top here. You'll notice there, the third one down is Commissioner Tanya Stegall. I will tell you this here, Commissioner Stegall actually messaged me and asked me to block her from the page, because there's a lot of chatter, and she was getting some rough goes from some people. So she asked, and I obliged, and and gave her that respect, and also told her that if she at any point in time would want to come back on the page, that her invitation is open. And right now, anybody else who's on this list here and wants to come back on, shoot me a message. I'll be more than happy to bring you back on. But again, not going to use it to attack me personally. You're not going to use it to attack my business, and you're not going to attack the page. Period. Other than that, you're more than welcome. You know, there's people I talk to quite often that we don't see eye to eye. You know, last night, Trent Harris. Trent and I go back and forth. We both have different opinions about things. But, you know, we respect each other enough, you know, and even last night, you know, thank you, Trent. You know, you made the comment about, you thanked me for bringing these candidates up here so people can hear. So, you know, just because we have differences of opinion, you know, we don't have to attack people. We certainly don't need to try to shut people's businesses down. That is totally uncalled for. You know, that's the behavior and the culture that has been around here, and that's the stuff that we try to fight. Anyway, now that we got that out and open, like I said, anybody who is blocked and wants to come back up here, come on. Any candidate that wants to use that as an excuse, you know, I can't help you. We got 5,700 members. If these people want to come back on, I'll get you send a message, and then you won't have an excuse at all for not coming up here. But I will tell you this here also. We share our videos through our YouTube channel, and no one is blocked on that YouTube channel. So, you know, the ball's in your court right now. If you want to come up here, come up here. But I will tell you this here. We're going to ask you questions. And if you can't handle the questions, then it's probably not the best place for you to be. Anyway, moving on. I'm sorry to open on a bad note there, Jimmy.
That's all right.
You know, just try to get some stuff out there and clear the air on some things so we can get things going.
That's right.
As I was saying, you're our current alderman in position 5.
Right. Current
alderman. The incumbent.
Yeah.
Running again for it.
The incumbent.
And I'm going to say this here. You're one of 3.
I'm one of the 3. You're
One
right.
of the 3.
You're right there.
So,
Yeah.
what we're going to do is kind of like we did last night. We're just going to have a conversation. You know, what I've started with everybody else, and I'll throw the same thing out to you. Property taxes.
Mm-hmm.
What are you thinking?
Well, you know, I voted against property taxes, and you know, we got it shut down. Finally, got it shut down, but it's gonna come back. You know, probably this next year. You know, and there's really no reason for it. You know, I'm not going. If I'm elected, we're not going to have any more property taxes for a long, long time. We're going to get this thing figured out of how the organization can make its own money and us take care of its money. It makes enough money to take care of itself. We just got to figure out what we're going to do. We're getting things figured out.
Now, the other night at the last board meeting, you brought up something about freezing taxes for 65 and older.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Can you give me a little heads up on what's going on with that?
I talked to some people and kind of through some people, not directly with the state on it, but they told me what to say and how to say it, and I did mess up one part of it. But what I was talking about, once you reach the age of 65 and you own property and a house in the city of Lexington and you reside in said property, then your property taxes will be frozen from there on. Okay, can't take them away, but we can freeze them from there on. Okay, and there's no money's limit on that, how much you make or whatever. You know, it's there. If you're 65, you deserve to not pay property taxes, I think. You know, for one time in your life.
Right.
Okay?
I agree with you 110% on that.
I didn't get a second on it though.
No, and I'll be honest with you. I was in the audience that night, and what I heard was personal property taxes.
Yeah, and that was.
And I think
made a mistake. Yeah.
Yeah, I can understand that there because, you know, I pay personal property taxes from the business here in the city. You know, now we don't own our building, so we don't pay property taxes. But you know, it does kind of when you think about it. It's your personal property, but it's not, you know, the way the government labels it.
I lived about 30 years in where they had personal property tax, but this is property tax, okay? Property tax only, and like I said, you can't cut it back to 0, but we can stop it where it is, and I'm going to bring it back up at the meeting next week. They checked with this with the MTS on the state, and to see what really happened. I think it's okay. So
I think it is
it's
too.
tabled right now, as I understand it's tabled. I hope
Right.
it is, okay.
Well, yeah, that's kind of, yeah, well, since there was never a second to the motion,
Right.
there's never been a vote, so it's still a viable option to talk about.
Okay.
So that, yeah, I think that's a good thing. And just recap that there so everybody understands. If you are 65 years or older and the city does raise property taxes, if this passes through the city, your property taxes won't go up. They will stay frozen exactly
Right.
where they are right now.
And it'd be easy to operate because, I mean, the age is the only thing. You know, when you reach 65, you go to the city up here and, you know, and you get on, they put it on the computer as you're 65. And that
Right.
should be easy to, you know, to handle.
Yeah, agreed. We actually got a question coming off right now. Beverly, what happens when you die? Do your kids have to pay the property taxes? Yes. You know, and at that point there, since this is for 65 and older, unless your kids are 65, you know, they will have to pay property taxes. If there's any increases, they'll have to pay it as well. Sandy, regarding the county taxes, that's something that would have to be done at the county board. And I'm assuming you would need to get a county commissioner. If I remember correctly, I think you're up in District 1. If that's the case, Jeff James or Junior Carter would be your commissioners. It'd be worth a call to them to let them know that you'd like to see that happening. But yeah, that is a county issue separate from what happens in the city. So you definitely want to talk to your county commissioners or go to a county meeting and express your concern. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you right now, you probably could just sit there and say, I saw Jimmy White trying to do this here in the city. Why can't we do it up here?
It can be done.
That's right. It's just a
Yeah.
matter of making it happen.
Takes 4.
Takes 4. Yes, it does. All righty. Utility rate increases is the next thing that we hear everybody complaining about.
That's tough. And you know, the utilities, you're talking about the gas and water?
Gas and water, yeah.
Gas and water and all that, okay.
Yeah,
That's, the expenses of that department is just, it's completely different than what it is for the general fund in the city. I mean, there's so much goes on. They have to have this, they have to have that. Now, whether they watch their own expenses now, I don't know yet. Now we're thinking they're not watching their expenses, you know. I mean, but we got good managers in place that's well qualified, you know. And but I know I talked to three or four ladies said, look, get $1,600 a month. I mean, you know, I can't, you know, it's all done, and that's it. They can't, you know, they can't go get any more. So I fully understand that. That might be the next thing we could do on rates.
Yeah, maybe put a cap at it with because I mean, you get people on Social
That's
Security.
right. They can't, they don't
Yeah.
get no more. That's it.
Yeah, that's, you know, and that's a hard thing for people to understand is, I mean, boy, that's a burden when I mean, you think about it, $1,600 a month, that's $400 a week.
That's a lot of people are living like that.
Yeah.
A lot of people.
And, you know, I don't know. I don't know if we got anybody in the city making less than somewhere around about $800 a week. I think would be on the low side of the spectrum.
Oh, yeah, I think so.
So yeah, that's I get it, and you know, and that's a great idea if you could find out a way to make cap of that there.
Well, you know, we got to take care of the older people. You know, I'm an older person now. I'm not young. I'm fixed to be 79 years old. Okay.
Look good for you,
So
Jimmy.
thank you, but I feel it though. But you know, I mean, you know, I've been lucky, you know, and I'm not in that position, but I know a lot of people that are, and there's a lot more people in that. So we got to take care of them on the taxes, the older people.
Agreed. That's yeah, anything that we can help to get them taken care of. All righty.
One thing I want to say is whatever we do should be for everybody. It shouldn't just be for this or this or this. It should be for every taxpayer. The way I look at it.
Agreed. I definitely agree with that there. You know, that's and any kind of relief we get is something that's definitely needed. All right, there's a bunch of other topics that we can get up in here and hit on.
Okay.
Nepotism. Well, let's start with that one there.
Mm-hmm.
You think we got a problem with nepotism in the city?
No, we don't have a problem with nepotism. This is my opinion now. there's a problem with the city, the city's hiring policies. And see, nepotism is kind of, just say, I'm in this position and I want my son to have this job here. Well, that's not supposed to happen because he's not supposed to be able to work underneath me. This is my thinking on nepotism. So I put him in your department. So, okay, James, will you hire my son? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like you need to, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
The policy I haven't looked at, but it's just, every policy is about the same on there. It's just how it's being used, and we all know that. I mean,
Right.
it's nothing. Everybody knows. I say everybody knows. A lot of people know what's going on. I can tell you that.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. That's
know.
there's quite a few things that we got policy on and it's not being followed.
Right.
I mean, that's just there's definitely some issues there. The streets. Everybody talks and complains about the roads. You got any thoughts, ideas, suggestions on what to do there?
I've been thinking about how we can. Why can't we get our streets better? I don't understand. I mean, they're working on other things where they could be working on streets. I think. And what's more important? The most important thing right now is our streets. And we had employees that come to work every day, and they're all good employees. But we've got to change we got to change items that's got to go first, second, third, and fourth. And I'm telling you, the streets and the water runoffs has got to be first thing to do. I mean, it's way out of hand. I mean, they say, well, it's on you. Well, the water comes on you. Well, that's because of this. It's not. It's on all of us because that water comes off the road, goes down onto their property. And who owns the streets? The city owns the streets. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah, you're right. And that's
we're supposed to. Yeah, we got to do best we can.
Well, it should be. I can't say it's a non-porous road because we got so many cracks and potholes up in there that it definitely water seeps into it, and eventually I know it's like up on I think it was over by the Church of Christ. There's a sinkhole that was created.
Yeah, all of a sudden.
Yeah, and and that's because water's sitting down there, running down there, just running it out. Yeah, and that's.
I was just coming down into town just a few minutes ago, and I don't know. I mean, the road is not big enough for 4 lanes. I don't think, because you're running over everything right there on each side. So I mean, I can understand everything we got's antiquated too. It's so old, for 50 years old. I don't know what to do. I mean, it looks to me like we could make it a 2-lane big one out to the high school and go on, and it'd solve it for a little while. I mean, at least you could fix the things that's going on.
Well, seeing what you're saying there, I mean, we could. You're right; those lanes are very compressed.
Two trucks are not going to pass on that.
No, and you're exactly right. Coming in here tonight, I mean, I passed 2 big rigs between the high school and the stoplight coming in, and both of them were pretty much almost in my lane. They had covered the yellow line, and I couldn't get over because there was somebody on my starboard side, and I couldn't ease back into another lane. And it's like, I just grip the wheel and hope that nobody hits me.
Hit a hole.
Yeah, you hit a hole and you bounce over into them. Maybe there's a possibility of doing 2 lanes through there at the turning lane.
That's what I said. That's what.
Yeah.
Well, that's the state also. So we have to fix the other things. It's up to them to do the road. Something's got to be done because it's just from there to the high school.
Yeah.
On this side, it's okay going this way.
Well, you talked about our infrastructure being bad. I know. Again, once you pass the high school, you start going down the hill, and on the right-hand side, in the right-hand lane, before you get down to Hall Street at the bottom of the hill, every time that road gets repaved, that thing gets tore up because they have to go in there and do some kind of repair work because there's always a leak.
Yeah.
Now, maybe if we can stop putting Band-Aids on that thing there and do a permanent fix, then we won't have to tear the road up every time because that there, April's got a bad neck. And she braces, and I'm like, don't tighten up. Don't tighten up because it's going to make it harder. You're going to feel the vibration. But I try to maneuver around as much as I can, but that's a bad spot. And there's quite a few bad spots around here.
Yeah, That's the number one thing, I believe. That and
Yeah.
taxes, those two. And I think right now that the streets are, I mean, it's paved the street back here on the back and it's so nice, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I just think it's poor planning what we're doing. Robbie had we paid a lot of money for that company to come in here and they went over them, you know, with lasers, da 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 da, and they there's a plan, gave us a plan. Work on this one here and this one here, and you got a plan with him. And when he left, of course, the plan went with him. You know, I mean, the stage just didn't use it. But I mean,
And that's, yeah. How much did that cost us?
$20,000.
Jeez.
But it was a good one.
We waste $20,000 on a plan that we never use. Yeah, that's.
It's like salary, so raise.
You want to talk about salary?
Oh Lordy,
You
we
know,
can.
I tell you what, let's pop up in there.
It's in there, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. What you got over there? Oh. Have
Well,
at it.
It's really something I don't want to go over here, but you know, it's if you look at the way the city's structured, you know, we're just overloaded. You know, I mean, we're overloaded with monies going out. You know, and you know, something's got to be done. I mean, you know, let's face it. I mean, sooner or later, something's got to be done. You know, we just got to look at every department. And maybe some people need to retire if they can, you know. If we retire, we don't replace them. You know, we're going to put a hiring freeze on. You know, we're not going to spend any money for a year, so we're not going to buy anything. No trucks, no cars, I mean, it's nothing. I'm going to make that motion. This is not going to be done. We can't afford to.
No, you're right. I mean, after going back in, and Jack said that he had talked to Fran, and our benefits cost us, on top of the salaries, our
Oh, yeah.
benefits cost somewhere in the neighborhood of 43 to 45 cents
That's right.
of what we're paying in the salaries, and that's putting us, I mean, $7.5 million in general fund. Now, I haven't looked at any of the utilities departments, any of the enterprise funds yet, to see where they are. But you know, and I've always heard in these meetings, if we give one department a raise, we got to give everybody a raise.
Yeah.
And
That's
You
the
know-
way it is, too.
yeah, but you know what though, you know, I hate to say this here, but LES is a moneymaker.
Mm-hmm.
So you
Make
know
their
what?
own money.
If they can afford to give raises, it's a different thing. But heck, we saw what happened with Lexington Utilities, where last year, oh yeah, we're good, we can give raises, then we give raises, and we come find out we're net negative,
Yep.
and it's based on benefits.
Right.
You know, there's definitely some.
Those benefits started changing years ago. I was in automobile sales and in the business and running dealerships, you know, and I remember when we had insurance, if we had to pay anything copay, it'd make everybody mad. I had to pay a $20 copay. Well, then all at once it got to where you might have a $100 copay. And then it got to where the employee is paying for half of their insurance, the employee. I mean, every business just kind of turned that loose. It's on them now, and but here evidently the employees is free and they pay 60%
of the family.
of the family. Okay, now everybody's got to have insurance. I know that. You know, what I would do every year, I'd take 5 people in the dealership from different parts of it. When the insurance come around, I don't fool with it. Y'all take this and figure out who you want to go with this year.
Right.
Leave it up to them. And they
Yeah,
would.
open enrollment, yeah.
Open enrollment.
Yeah.
They could sign up with anybody they wanted to, you know, for the dealership, and they do that. So it's all on them. But you know, this just you figure a lot of money. I don't know how much it is per person. I don't. It's an average of the age here to here.
Right.
You know.
And you know, and it is. I mean, now granted, military, you know, our benefits are covered, but I
Yeah.
mean, it's a whole lot different in the military because you know you're going to be assigned somewhere.
Yeah.
You know, you're not living at home, you know, or a whole different ball game there. And plus deployments, when you really get into it, there's a whole different thing. That's the government protecting its investment.
Right.
But this isn't the military. Nowhere near like it. Nowhere near the expectations. I mean, this is kind of like me working my job or you working your job. When you get done, you go home, and it's the end of it. As a matter of fact, do you get 100% of your insurance paid at the county? Have y'all
I
got
ain't
to
got
that point?
insurance with them.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
I think no,
Last
they
time
don't
I
get
thought
100%.
I think
No,
they only get like 80%.
they get like
right?
80, and you got
Yeah.
and you have to pay that. But no, I'm not on there. But yeah, if I go on there to raise the rates up so high, somebody might. But you know, getting back to raises, you know, and I've said before, I've never worked anywhere because I ain't worked in you know, in this type of businesses either, to where everybody gets raised. Everybody. I mean, my goodness, that's never happened wherever I've worked, and I've had people, friends of mine, working in factories, and everybody don't get a raise, you know. And the COLA, I mean, I think it's for us. I mean, for military, Social Security, you know,
Right.
and they get a raise. Everybody gets that raise.
Right.
But that don't go. The county doesn't do that every year. They don't give a COLA raise. I mean, sooner or later you max out in your position. If you sign up and I want to take this job and it pays $50,000 a year, okay, and you start out they start you out say 47, 40. Anyway, once you get up to that 50, then you know you're pretty well there. It's not a $100,000 a year job, is what I'm saying.
Right.
It's a $50,000
Right.
a year job. So that's what it's going to be.
Right.
But that's not what it is.
No.
You take what, 22% in the last 5 years, 4 years?
Yeah, and 27.3% in the last 6.
Right.
I've got that much.
Right. It's not, and look, it's not, I want people to make all the money they can make.
Sure.
Everybody has the same opportunity for everything, you know, and if you take the opportunity to work for the city or the election electorate, then that's what you have decided to do in your life, you know, and you're gonna have to take it as it comes, you know.
Right.
If you most raises I ever give was one, you know, a longevity raise, or maybe somebody's doing a super duper job, or you know, just not, but only 4 or 5 people might get a raise, you know.
Right.
You know, 50 cents an hour or something like that, you know. But
You know, and businesses have to operate on profit. And if they're
Right.
not, they can't afford to give those raises, how in the hell can government?
you can't.
That's you know, Kenny, that man, that boy, you hit the nail on the head. You can only borrow from Peter to pay Paul for so long. I mean, you know, and that's the truth. And what's happening is, Peter broke. He ain't got that much money left, and you can't keep getting that blood from a turnip. It just ain't gonna happen. Let's see here.
We got to get a hold of where the money is, where it's going, and it's got to be stopped. It's got to be stopped quick. Okay, and I think if this election goes, you know, of course the way I would like for it to go, and we would like for it to go, then you know the changes you're going to see immediately.
Right.
It won't be a month or two down the road.
Right.
It'll be immediate changes, and have to get over with us. You know. Well, I look at it. It may not be. I'm not going to be the mayor. You know.
Right. Let me answer a couple of questions up in here. But Vivian, they should not get raises until salaries and benefits are based on their abilities to work within their budget. You know, that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, the budget is being expanded, and this is something, you know, I want to try to tell you guys again. When the budget comes up every year, it ain't the same budget from the previous year. It's got all the wants and stuff. So and then the expectations of cutting down on that budget. That's when they say it's a budget cut.
Mm-hmm.
The budget's not cut from the previous year. It's a play on words.
Mm-hmm.
Here we are. I'm going to just give you an example. $1 million budget last year. Well, now we got a $1.2 million budget. Well, there's $200,000 added to it.
Right.
And you can start going in there and cutting, which rarely ever happens anyway. Generally, if that presented budget's 1.2, what I've been seeing in the city is, well, let's raise it on up to 1.5, 1.6. You know, and again, hypothetical numbers. But that's really what happens in that scenario there. But you're all right. That's how it really needs to work, is work within your budget itself. Sandy, the electric company raises its costs according to the COLA increase, correct? No, that is not correct.
No.
TVA is pretty much sets the rates with, and it's not that they set the rates per se. TVA charges the electric company for electricity.
Right.
And then they're the electric company is the reseller
Right.
they're the reseller of that electricity, and then they also have to maintain the infrastructure. So really, TVA has the biggest say on that.
They won't let them go up so much.
Right, yeah, and even then, TVA could, they control they regulate how much
Right.
they can go up. So, that's not true in this scenario.
It's probably is the most controlled department that we have is LES. I mean,
Right.
it's cut and dried.
Right, and that's and like I said, we've got a
There's
video.
other people looking at it besides us. I mean, besides
Oh
us.
yeah, yeah,
You know.
yeah. TVA plays a major
Right.
part in that. There, Tim Rose, Jimmy White is one of us three.
Oh, Tim.
That's the truth. What else you want to talk about? You got anything you want to share, put out?
I got some things here.
All righty.
Let's see what I want to do.
To answer your question there, Sandy, I don't believe TVA goes by COLA. Now, I'm gonna round it up. In the last 2 years, TVA has gone up 10%. They've split it apart. It's somewhere, I think, 9.8% is what the actual increase was. So TVA does not go by COLA. Honestly, I really couldn't tell you how TVA goes by. Their board meetings are a mystery. So they're not attached to COLA in any way. I'm assuming they probably look at whatever it costs for them to generate the electricity to be able to sell out and what it costs for them. And let me interject something in there too. Ian Gorski, I don't know if Ian ever watches or looks at these podcasts. Ian could probably provide a lot of information. He is with a solar company, and they are, I think they're putting out somewhere on Franklin Store Road. And what they're doing is they're going to be back selling what they generate from the solar panels back to LES, which should, I'm not going to say it's going to reduce rates, but it will kind of lock them in somewhat from, they'll have, a cheaper source of revenue, a cheaper source of electricity to go back in, as opposed to, it's a supplement of TVA. So that might be able to help them keep from expanding the rates more as they go along. So that's kind of how it goes. Yes, there is the Lexington Utilities does raise its rates by COLA. Now there's been some arguments on that there. It was stated by the city recorder that did not happen. Going back in, let me rephrase that there. City recorder said that it did. Alderman Gordon Wildridge stated that was not the case. It was supposed to happen, but it didn't happen. And the city recorder argued and said it did happen. Well, if you go back and you actually look at the audits, Alderman Wildridge is correct. They did not go up in accordance to COLA like they were supposed to. So that's that's where it is. But that is Lexington Utilities. So what you're dealing with there is water,
Gas, water.
Gas, water, and sewer is what you're looking at there. All right, I'm sorry, Jimmy.
One more
hit
thing.
back. All right.
Y'all have been talking about it. Everybody's been talking about it. On the show here, and about this charter change. Okay, and everything's been said about it. Really, everything's been said. But I just want to finish it off if I can.
Help yourself.
Okay, and this is the way that I have been told, and this is what happened. It brought before the board that make a motion that we change the charter so that the mayor could have the vote in case of a tie.
Right.
Okay, that's what I voted on. Okay.
Right.
Okay, it goes from us. It goes into the mayor and CFO, and it goes on to Nashville, and they come back one day and said, okay, it's approved. You want to ratify it? Well, we raised our hands. Yes, we ratified it. Okay. I didn't read it. No, none of us read it. Okay. And they're talking about an email that we should have got. I never got it. I'm tell you what, I keep every email I've ever gotten. And you know that. I probably got 10,000.
Yeah.
But I have never, as far as I know that I could find, I have not gotten an email from the state on this issue. Okay. So what happened was there was a change made in the office here, sent to the state assembly, issuing, how to say, anyway, they made a place for, actually it's a city manager, but it's CFO, okay? And he is over all departments, every department. He's over the monies. He's it. He's it. And really, when it comes down to it, all the mayor's got to do is hold the meetings, because he's in charge.
Right.
And that's the way it is. And I've talked to other people, and they say that's the way it is. Now, that was underhanded. Now, when Gordon had the guy come down here from the state,
Right.
I talked to that same person, pretty sure it was, about 2 weeks before that, and I mean in depth, because I said, how can this happen? He said, you voted on it. You voted on it twice, Mr. White. I said, I know I did. He said, you just didn't read it, did you? I said, no, I didn't. He said, you see what I'm talking about? I said, yeah. He said, there was nothing that was wrong done. They just put another bill in there to get done, and it got done. I said, okay.
Even though it wasn't approved by the board. And
It
that's
didn't have to be.
right. I mean, they were able to do what they wanted to do.
You know, they give them 3 or 4 or 5. They could change a lot of things, and went right through. If we had to say, all right, so we want to see it when it come back from the state, okay? If we'd have done that, then we'd have saw what's going on.
Right, right.
But we didn't. And that right there is something that I just can't believe happened, but it did. Okay? So that's where we are. We lost one super guy from LES because of that.
That's what Alderman Rose just came back up and
Tell
said.
him.
Yeah, we lost Jeff Graves because
Walked
of it.
out because of that. He said, I'm not reporting to anybody else or something. I don't know what it was, but I mean, that's where we are, folks, and that's it. So
Yeah, and that's a bad thing, because what it does, it takes away, it undermines the public trust. And you know, and when you look back at, let's see if, I don't know if I can bring one up. Pretty much when you see resolutions or public chapters and all this, you know, it always says at the very end,
right.
I'm going to give a rough idea of what it says. It's pretty much it's for the welfare of the people. Well, if you got to lie and undermine the board, that is not for the welfare of the people. That's for your own welfare. And that's a bad, bad thing, because that I can't say it any other way.
Mm-hmm.
This is why a lot of people don't have trust in government in any aspect,
Right.
because we see so much of this happening. Our elected officials were taken out of the picture.
Yeah.
And
Really, there was no law broken though.
no. And the only thing that could happen now is to change it.
Yeah,
But
take
you know,
a year. Probably, I don't know.
yeah, you'd have to get it in front of the legislature, so
Yeah.
it'd take a year. But before that happens, you got to have 5 votes.
Oh,
not,
yeah. It takes-
not 4. You got to have 5.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, I'm going to say it, nobody else is going to say it. You guys were lied to. You trusted your mayor, and your mayor lied to you. He hid stuff from you and did something that you didn't authorize him to do, but he did it anyway, and it's now cost, it's hurt us.
Yeah. Well,
We lost a really, really good man.
yeah. Well, I'd like to say this, because this will include me personally. Now, I will say that personally, Jeff Griggs and I have never had a crossword, never have, and we never will, and we won't. I mean, I like him. He's never done anything to me, and my wife thought the sun rose and set in him. And I asked him the other night, I said, at the meeting, I said, Jeff, I tell you what, I'll vote for you if you'll vote for me. And we just both laughed, you know. I said, but you wouldn't be doing this if Paulo was still here. And he didn't say nothing. You know. I know he wouldn't, you know. But no, that's all I, because he and I mean, we will be friends. That's it. You can't let these things get into friendship.
No,
This is business.
no.
You can't get mad because I vote this way and be mad at me forever. That's what's going on.
Right.
They get mad, and I don't, you know, people, we're not talking to each other. You know, we're all of them. These 3 are talking, and those 4 are talking, you know.
Yeah. And
And that's, yeah. you know.
And that's the difference when people take it personal.
That's right.
You know, and that's kind of like I was talking about earlier
Yeah,
with Trent Harris. Me and
Yeah.
him, boy, we go back and forth with each other, but you know, at the end of the day, we have respect.
Yeah.
You know, and it doesn't have to be anything other than that. There, the problem is I'll say this: when people have a thirst for control, that lust, they perceive anybody that threatens that there as the enemy. So,
You got that right
and
too.
that's a bad thing. That's a mighty bad thing.
You know, my motto is from here on is, first let me say this. We do have good managers, I'm gonna tell you that. I mean, Justin is, he's as qualified as anybody. Can you imagine what he's gotta be qualified to do at that water department, no? And gas, no?
Yeah.
I don't know, but he is very qualified, okay? He, you know, and then I know LES is in great shape, our other departments, you know, I have nothing against any of them, okay? I just think that they need to be worked with more closely than we are, because they working all day long. And by the time that financial statement comes around, they got to come before us to say something. They don't really know what they're talking about, to tell you the truth. Why they got to do this, but you know, they don't have the money or something. What I'm saying is, their job is really to do their job. Their job is not financial, you know, but they're responsible for the financial.
Right.
See, so they may be some changes need to be made somewhere like that to watch it every day. But the good thing, from now on, you know, positive is good, negative is bad, and it's that way every day, and it's never going to change. If you don't have the positive attitude of wanting to help people, instead of running the people down and, you know, bringing, like Roger did the other night, bring all up there in front of us and apologize to them for the way he's treating them, and he's not backing them up. And that there's people out in the city and people on the board just calling them cheats, thieves, liars, and everything else. Now that got me hot, I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah, I saw that.
Now but you blame who you want to. I guess if you're gonna blame somebody, blame it to their face. But
Yeah.
the main thing you got to do, they pay them a lot of money, let them do their job. Now, if you can't do the job, that's when things change. And you don't keep nobody on if they can't do their job, because it'll show up in the numbers. The numbers is going to show it.
You know, and I agree with you on that. There, what bothers me as a taxpayer is don't. And I'm going to say the words.
Say it.
Don't lie to an alderman and say everything is good, and then turn around and the alderman finds out that it's not all good.
Mm-hmm.
That bothers me.
Yeah.
Because you misrepresented the truth in an effort to get a pay raise. That really, really bugs me, because now I no longer trust.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whether somebody's a good person or not, whether they're qualified or not, that's not the question in here. The question is a matter of trust. And if we don't have trust in our government, we got issues. And I think and then we start looking at everything.
You start looking at everything.
Yeah, because you're
There
overanalyzing.
you're looking, right.
Right, and you're looking to see what else you've been misled on, and it's hard to get transparency. You know, last year during the first budget reading of the 74-cent property tax, I actually got up and talked at the very end of the meeting.
Yeah.
And the reason I asked, I was addressing was Alderman Ellis. Well, I got the budget here, and nobody can tell me. You know, I asked people, how can I make cuts on it? And they're like, well, I don't know. Well, my question is, why can't I see a budget? Mm-hmm. I don't want a zero budget. I don't want a 50-cent budget. I want a 74-cent budget. What budget do you have? Let me see the budget, and then maybe I can take and say, hey, you know what? Yeah, we can make some cuts here.
Mm-hmm. How many budgets did we get?
At the end, no,
I
six
think
or seven.
I think
Oh,
four.
there
right,
were six. There were 6 or 7 when it all said and got done.
Look, and I'm not a numbers person, okay? You know, I'll turn and look on that back page, And if those numbers were the same on that back page
right.
through all of them, through all the cuts.
Yeah, that's
Bottom
it.
line was still the same.
Yeah, they were still trying to get the same money. They were just pulling it from different
Yeah.
places, and that's to me again is here's a misleading thing is to sit there and say, well, if we raise it, because what they were doing was if we don't get the property tax raised like we want, we're just going to pull the money out of savings. We're still going to spend the same amount of money, but we're going to deplete our savings instead of getting it from property tax. And that was
I think
bogus.
I'm gonna tell you that I think that's when the public really started looking.
I agree with you.
That time right there, we'd having 100 people at our meetings up there, and that's never happened. But the people woke up, and it made a difference.
And I think
it has made a
right.
difference.
I think it's still carrying on to this day.
I
and
mean,
think
they have a
wanna
right.
change.
I mean, I'm gonna tell you, and this alderman deal, it's not the easiest thing in the world. I'm telling you. I mean, I've been there 4 years, and I think 3 of it was really training, and I'm still not all the way there. I'm not ever going to, because we got too many aspects. We got LES, we got gas and water, we got public works, we got, and it's just too much to comprehend, really. But we're the ones that has to make the decision,
Right.
you
right.
know. So we
But you
have
gotta-
to have good numbers.
Right, and you got to trust in the people to bring you factual information.
Yeah, if you don't have the numbers, we agree to whatever. If the numbers are wrong, I mean, we're not going to know.
Right.
We're not going to know.
And at the end of the day, it's your decision to spend the money.
Right.
And let me make sure I'm clarifying that there. It's not necessarily to spend the money, but the approve the spending of the money.
Right.
So, that's, and to me, you guys need to have everything, and it should be simple to understand. Have you ever looked at a county budget? I know you work over there. I don't know if you get one.
I get one. I get my part sent. Well, I do get it sent to me. Sure do, once a month there.
If you look at that budget and compare it to the city budget,
Yeah.
well, that county budget's easy to read.
Oh yeah, I can read mine. I can read my department in a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even
And it's
need my
up to
glasses
date.
on to read it. And it's exactly.
Yeah.
When you look at those things, it's like, why on earth can't the county do the same, the city do the same thing?
Well, we've been trying to get a spreadsheet every month instead of a complete. We don't need the whole complete thing. We just need a spreadsheet, kind of like the county does right there. It'll tell each department, and every department know where they are. We get a budget every from now on. I mean, that's not what we need. We need something we look at one page and look at. And I know it's there.
And you're right. When I started in all this here, and I was really deep into the county, Dennis Ray McDaniel had Donna Dar over at the trustee's office create what Dennis Ray called the Bible. And it was a monthly report, and it was so easy to read. So I went over there and made a request of it, and I said, look, Donna, I need a copy of the Bible. And she started laughing. She's like, I know what you're looking for. So she got me a copy of it, and I read it, and I'm like, man, this thing is so simple to break down and understand. You're right. I mean, you don't need a bunch of information when you can look at the
Right.
If you've got $100,000 budgeted in a line item, and you're in month 6, and you spent $58,000, well, you're on track to take an overspend.
Right.
Well, I mean, this way here you can track it. It's real simple to
Yeah,
look
the
at.
county's on the money all the time.
Yeah, and it's just like, what in the heck's going on?
I don't know. I mean, it needs to be simplified. It really does, and it can be simplified with all the technology and everything we have with our computers. Yeah, it can be. It can be. I think it can. I don't know.
Tim chimed in again. They say the people will forget in a year about how you vote. You know what, Tim? I used to not would argue with you on that there, but I'm going to tell you with this election and the people I've met, because I've met a lot of new people who've come up and asked questions, and they're remembering a lot of stuff.
They'll remember it in 2 years too.
Yeah, this, 74-cent property tax increase, well, that's hitting pocketbooks heavy. That's, people don't forget that easily. But you're right. I mean, that's what politicians bank on. The next news story will come forward, and people just forget about what has already happened.
Yeah, they're gonna blame us. I mean, because there's some collusion going on somewhere. I don't listen to things like that because they're just saying something. They can go on social media and say whatever they want to and don't get any repercussion from it. And that's good and that's bad.
People need to educate themselves better, and that's.
I think that's what they're trying to do.
Yeah, I think they are.
They are. I mean, there's people sitting home, but
All right, you got more stuff you want to go over?
One more thing. I want one more. We've been going through this for about 4 years now. I think it started right after Fred and I got on about the cemetery, and Fred took the challenge, and he went with it, and I told him I'd stay with him until it was done, and I will, and I have. I'm hoping it's done. I think it is.
I don't know.
But you know, it's a long, hard deal to go, and we run into more. I mean, fences we couldn't get over. And why not for this? This is something that needs to be done. It needs to be done. But put them together like they're supposed to be. And so I think we've got it down to where we've got to do a lot of work over there on the other side. But it's going to be bringing more fill and stuff in. I think that Casey's doing a lot of things over there on that too.
I haven't been over there in a while, but
Our problem is that you hear it at all the meetings, and I'm the one that catches flack for it because I will speak up about it. Is everybody's grave's got to be the same.
Mm.
Nothing on the mud, nothing on this. Whatever's on that tombstone can stay there. And I've tried to make people understand that they say, well, that's not going to be that way. We're going to do this. You're not going to do that. It's just, we got rules and regulations. And after all this, we did have a set of rules there for it. Nobody said anything about it all these years, but they're using them now. So we're going to use those rules and regulations, and hopefully we will have a date that everybody can be conformed by. Every grave. Hopefully it'll be that way. Not going to be any exceptions. I'm going to tell you, as long as if I can be there, because there don't need to be exceptions. Everybody's alike. That way they can mow it the way it's easy to mow and this, that. Just like the graveyard out where my wife's buried, and hair. I got to go out there. That place is so neat, clean, everything else. There ain't nothing on the dirt,
No.
They mow it,
I'm sure you've been to Arlington.
Yeah. Isn't that something?
Yeah, boy, I'm going to tell you,
I went out to the graveyard, to the cemetery, veteran cemetery the other day when I was out there. I don't know how many they got. They got over 1,000, I think. I'm not positive. I was keeping up with it. But you just go look at what they do. You can look at any way you want to. Those lines are perfect.
yeah.
Yeah. And the graves are already dug. What most people don't know, they probably got 100 graves already dug. Concrete's in the ground. Wait somebody just pull the grass up and do it. See, it's a neat thing, and this is one of the few ones out here at Parker's Crossroads. I think there's 5 in Tennessee, but most of them are getting filled up. I think they're burying people out here from everywhere.
Now, before I moved out to Henderson County, I was over in Wayne County, and I used to go up to Pegram a lot up in Nashville and Bellevue. I went to church up there every Sunday. There was a cemetery, is it McCrory Lane, where you get off to go to Loveless Cafe.
Yeah, McCrory.
Yeah. And you take a left there, like you're heading back into Pegram. There's a veteran cemetery down there.
Yeah.
And that place was pretty full when I went through there.
I think it's full.
That's
yeah,
because I used to go out and place flags out on Memorial Day, and we used to do the same thing over here on the cemetery, the Crossroads Cemetery, right before the
right there by it.
Yeah, right by the
Right
veteran
by it.
cemetery.
It's, I can't think, but it's where you turn in right there.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
where Halter was buried the other day. He was buried right there. Jones, I think it's Jones.
And they've got all the markers have got military members
Yeah.
up there. We used to go place flags up there. Then there's another one if you keep past Waldoville Road. It's almost across from the park.
Right.
It kind of sits off the road up there. We used to go up there and place flags. That's one of the things I took the children out to do, so they could understand the value of it and the importance of why we remember that day.
Well, the cemetery, we just want it to look like every other like a cemetery should. Everything is the same way. We'll have to move some footstones because some of them's got them way out here in the middle, but that's no problem. We can move them back and get them all lined up, and I think they're doing that because people are not going. Most people are not going to say a word. They want it to be look that good.
Right.
They wish it all looked that good.
Uniform.
Right. That's right. Uniform.
It's just being uniform.
That's right.
I get it. Okay. I got a text here. If we do that tax for 65, the city will have to hire 3 more employees to keep up with. Lots of laughs. Don't jinx this thing now. We're trying to get something done.
I know where that goes from, I bet you.
All righty. Anything else you want to go over?
I just,
We've been at it for about an hour.
Yeah. I think I'm good. I don't want to go into all this other right here now, but we've touched on about everything.
All righty.
That I can think of.
Well, you want to make your sales pitch to the people, tell them to vote for you?
I sure do.
All right.
I
Well, I'll
sure
tell you what,
do,
I'm going to
yeah.
step aside and let you have at it.
Okay. You know, I can say this. I have had more phone calls from people I don't know and this, that, and that, and I'm still getting calls. This is probably the most important election that this city is going to have, and I don't know when. And people, I think people know that, okay? But it's up to you as a citizen, as a taxpayer, as a voter, to make that decision. It's nobody else's decision but yours, you know. And if you'll show out in force, like we're hoping you will, we're hoping to get 1,400 to 1,500 votes. Usually it's 700, but we're hoping you show out. If you show out in force, you know, as a public, and whichever way the vote goes is the way it goes. That's it. You know, this is not because I'm running. It's because it's important, and I can tell you it's important, and most people know it's important. So I'm asking for your vote. Let me have 4 more years. I'll be out. Okay. I'll be too old. I think we might ought to put an age limit on it. I don't know. No, it's a couple more or so. But you know, I'm asking for your vote, and I will do the best that I can, and I'm learning more every day. And it's been a pleasure for you letting me have this job. It's been a pleasure for letting me keep it. I hope it will be. But thank you very much.
All righty.
And thank you for letting me come on, James.
Well, heck, I've enjoyed it. I enjoyed the conversation. I appreciate you coming up here because that's one of the things that, you know, I've noticed a lot is since we started doing these podcasts, other people have started doing videos. I know you even did one.
Yeah.
It seems to be a great way to reach more people and let them know what your message is. So, you know, that's...
You know, I'll be honest with you. I was skeptical because, you know, I didn't know. I didn't want to get anything. I didn't want to start anything, and I might have started something. But what I said tonight is what I mean. And if I call names, I call names because that's the way it was. But you know, I think it's probably one of the best things that's happened here in the city in a long time. I mean, it's putting everything where it should be. And there's things that come out that nobody even thinks about.
Well, you know, and you're right about that. You know, in the last few weeks, I had somebody in here that I talked with the day before yesterday. Wasn't aware of the Facebook page. Older person, and it not on Facebook, and started talking about the YouTube channel because I had somebody else who had messaged me that their mother wasn't on Facebook, but they actually they get on a YouTube channel and thank me for creating a YouTube channel. So, you know, there's other options, and the lady that I spoke with the other day, I sent her a link for her to go up there so she could subscribe and watch the videos. So we're trying to find more ways, but people I've never met before, and I don't know everybody around here. I don't have that luxury.
You say how many people you got now?
Yeah, we're up to 5,700.
5,700.
Yeah.
That's great.
And that's people who are just interested in what's going on
Right.
with politics.
That's right.
So, you know, it's, I ain't complaining about those numbers whatsoever. But to me, that's a wonderful thing that people actually start to pay attention.
They want to learn. They
That's
want to
it.
know what's going on.
That's it.
And give them a little whiff of it, and they want to know it all then. And I don't blame them.
Well, you know, I'm gonna give you this invitation right now. If you win and get back in your position, I'd like for you to come back up here again. You know, some point, share information with the people.
I will. I'll be glad to.
I think it's a
I'll
great
be glad
place.
to. Yep. And the information needs to be shared from the top down to us to the public.
Well, hopefully,
Whatever we get, the public should get.
amen. Well,
You know.
hopefully this here is the forum where we can get it out there for them.
Okay.
All righty. Well, thank you, Jimmy. I appreciate you
you.
coming on. All right, everybody. This is our last scheduled candidate podcast, because I've got nobody else at this point in time frame who have come up and want to join. You know, we're going to take Monday night. Have you got your packet yet for Monday night? I expect it'll be coming in tomorrow.
Yeah, probably tomorrow night.
Yeah, tomorrow is when the packet should go out for the city board meeting on Monday. We will be live streaming that board meeting, and then probably Tuesday, I'll do a solo recap of that board meeting. I still got to catch back up on the planning commission, and over the weekend, I got talking to somebody, and I'm actually may not do it in the podcast. I may just do it in a video to post up. I don't know how I'm going to go about it yet, but I can go back through in the meetings that we've got videos of, and I can pull out just the voting part of it. So I can put up there. You want to know how somebody voted on something? So here you go. I can give them that clip.
That's neat if you could do that.
Yeah, and then just make a video of all of it, and I can put a little thing up in the front. This is the 74% property tax increase. Who made the motion, who seconded it, and who voted. So we may end up putting up a post tomorrow asking everybody to chime in for questions that they have about how people have voted in the past, and then we'll work on doing something like that there in the interim. But that's about it for tonight.
Okay.
I am going to the Catalina Wine Mixer and have a good time. Y'all have a wonderful evening.
Appreciate it, James.